Alright, so the Genshin TCG has finally released. These are going to be my first impressions of the mode. Is the game fun or is it boring? What have they done right? What have they done wrong? And what do they have to do to keep this up? Let's discuss. Now, first of all, the card game mode is perfect for Genshin. With all the characters you have and all the weapons and artifacts, you can very easily do a lot of cards and add cards in the future based on what they're adding into the game already. So if you have a new character, they'll add a new card with new mechanics, maybe a new weapon as well. So that's really good for the longevity of the mode. But overall, the first impressions are the card game mode is really good. The TCG is perfect for Genshin. It works really well. It plays fluently, it's smooth, there's no weird bugs or glitches with it so far that I've noticed, and overall it's good. The major positive thing about it so far is that there's plenty of content to get through and you can do it at your own pace. It's not a timed event per se, you don't need to rush through it or anything like that. You can just take your time and do it whenever you like, which is really good for Genshin right now because it's a kind of content you can do just whenever. And you're not really pressured to get through it either, which is really nice. Another thing is it's not pay to win, right? You can't really pay anything here. You can't pay to progress or pay to win. You can just go through the challenges like everyone else and then gain the currency, the coins, to then buy whatever you want. Extra cards, support cards, artifact cards. There's a whole shop. You can then later on buy backgrounds for characters or animated cards for the characters, right? Which are little cosmetic options for your deck, which is pretty cool to have, and you don't need to spend the currency or buy anything. You unlock plenty of cards through challenges and the adventure quests and in the story mode, so you don't even need to spend that currency really. The biggest thing you want to spend the currency on is those invite letters, because those invite letters you can send out to different characters. So for example, I sent one out to Ganyu as my first one, so it's called the match invitation letter, and that allows you to invite the character and then you have to battle them, and if you win you get their card and you can use their card and make a deck around it or add it to your existing deck, and that's how you get characters. And that's a really cool and interesting way of doing it, I think, and it allows you to pick which characters you want in your deck, invite them, fight them, win, and then build a deck around them, have them in your own set of cards, which is really cool. There are these Ascension and boss fights, which are also really good. I think the boss fight was quite interesting, the first one that you do. It changes it up a little bit because it's not multiple characters or random monsters you have to fight. It's actual boss, and if you win you get their card and then you can play their card in your deck, which is also really fun. So the boss fights are a really cool thing that they added as well, and it really adds to the challenge. It breaks up the monotony of just fighting the same kind of battle or having the same set of rules. And actually on top of that, there are different rules if you're going through the story challenges and you're battling the NPCs. Sometimes there's the special rules put in place, so that also makes every battle different and unique and more interesting. So for example, one battle you can start with like a effect card, and then one of them was all your characters start with 2 energy, so that you can use your burst or your ultimate move straight away if you have the dice for it, which was really interesting and I found that really cool as well. Now another thing is building your deck and collecting the cards. It's all quite fun, as in any card game, but it can be quite a challenge, especially for people who've never played any card games or are new to the TCG genre. But it is fun and I do recommend kind of trying it out. They obviously do start you with a deck, which is nice and helps new players. But then you can just go into that deck, and if you get new cards, you can just edit them in. Now the biggest kind of issue that people thought of was the RNG involved with the dice, right? So let's say you roll the dice, you didn't get your element, you roll them, you re-roll them, again, no element, well, what do you do? Now the thing is, you're not completely gone by that point. You can still play some cards and you can still make some moves. It's not like you're just gonna automatically lose because you don't have your element for your characters. So if you fail to roll the dice, you can still play cards like the weapons and the artifacts using other elements, other dice elements. So if you have a cryo team and you roll your dendro dice, well, you can still play artifacts and weapons and support cards. And if you end your turn early, right, you will start the next turn going first, which then gives you an advantage. So it kind of balances it out. Obviously it's nice to just get all your dice and have all your elements and then play it that way, but as in every card game, there is a little bit of RNG involved, and it's kind of necessary. Now, what are some of the disadvantages or the cons to the card game so far that I've noticed? There's not many, however, there is a little bit of a timed element to it. So you have 4 weekly challengers that appear at the Cat's Tail, and if you obviously don't play that week, well, you're not gonna do those 4 challenges because they reset weekly. So every week you get 4 new ones. You can get some player XP and some coins from those challenges. You can even see a character appear. I've had Ningguang show up, and there was a little bit of extra lore quest to it. I shouldn't say that much, but obviously if you have a cool character appear that you like, you want to talk to them as well. So that's the very small amount of, I don't want to say pressure, but the timed element to it. Obviously you don't even have to do those 4 challenges if you don't want to. I think there is a thing on the battle pass that you have to do 2 of them, maybe. So that just kind of reminds people to do those challenges. Another worry is that some of it could get stale if you're using the same characters all the time, or if you're using the same deck and you're not mixing it up at all. I would suggest to mix it up and to make different decks about different elements. I've only played so much, and I can already invite about 4 or 5 characters, so the first kind of initial batch of characters you can invite, make sure that they're different elements, or make sure they're the same element. Whatever you do, make sure you build different decks, because that will keep it fresh and keep it fun. So I've built my cryo deck, now I'm building kind of a cryo hydro. I was thinking of doing a melt deck with Diluc and Garni, kind of somehow mixing them up together with someone else. So it's important to keep it fresh for yourself as well. And obviously the worry is that they will just kind of abandon the mode like they did with the teapot or fishing, but hopefully not. I think they should keep adding more cards overall, and over time I think they will, especially with new characters and weapons releasing. It would be a little bit stupid not to. So I hope they don't abandon the mode. It's fun so far, but you can definitely add more to it, and you can definitely build on top of the mode and expand it even further. And there's already a lot of ideas circulating around on the forums and such, that there's a lot to do in this game mode, and there's a lot that they can do to improve it and build upon it in the future. But yeah guys, these are some of my first impressions of the mode. As I get more into it, I might make more videos about the mode, maybe some of the best teams I've come up with, or some of the best cards that you want to play. I already have some ideas as to what cards will go on there, especially the Kokomi card, my god. But yeah, you should definitely give it a try if you haven't yet. It's quite fun. The tutorial can be a bit lengthy if you're not used to that kind of thing, or if you're not used to card games, but trust me, once you get into it, once you do a few matches, you see how it all works, it all clicks, it makes sense, it starts being really, really fun. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.